very important issue. I am a baby boomer. I'm at the tail end, but I am a baby boomer. And I worked for many years in jobs that were that paid minimum wage. So I'm very concerned about this because I'm not going to have much of a pension. I will be one of the seniors unless things change, unless the NDP is elected. I'll be one of the seniors that retires in poverty or doesn't get to retire at all. So I think it's very important to increase the Canada Pension Plan, and the NDP have a plan to do that, gradually bringing it up to 50% of original earnings as opposed to 25%. We have a plan to protect retirement savings and also to increase the guaranteed income supplement, and we would actually do that immediately to lift seniors out of poverty. I think that this also ties into so many other issues. This is also why we need to make adjustments and really address the situation in our healthcare system as our population increases. We're going to have to do that. And this ties into immigration because we need new immigrants. We're not making enough babies and our population is aging. So all these issues tie together and are very important and have to be looked at together.
Patchell. Mr. Karvgiannis will be going next.
You know, there's two things that we've got to talk about: is family care, and where people need to look after seniors and their families, and we also got to talk about secure retirement. Allow me to address the family care. When somebody takes sick and is gravely sick right now, the government has a plan that was put in place in 2005 by the Liberal government that you can take off so many weeks to look after your family. One of the things that we have not addressed is if somebody is sick and needs somebody to stay at home to look after them. And a lot of times people depend on caregivers or outside help. What we like to do is make sure that a family member that takes off from work is able to look after that individual and get unemployment insurance. That's one aspect. And the other thing that we have to look at is that 75% of Canadians working in private sector do not have a company pension plan. Canadians are living longer and will soon be facing a dramatic growth in the number of the Canadians seniors. We need to make sure that seniors and those that will become seniors have a secure retirement. A Liberal government will work closely with provinces, territories to expand Canadian pension plan to meet the challenges ahead. CPP is most reliable and low-cost way to save for retirement. A Liberal government would create a secure retirement option. This would be a supplement that every Canadian would have the option of contributing to. Finally, a Liberal government would help low-income seniors by investing $700 million in a guaranteed income supplement. It is crucial we act on this measure that would soon make possible as more baby boomers join the ranks of seniors. We cannot gamble with income security of our seniors. Let's not forget Nortel.
Thank you. Ms. Pauline Thompson, you can go ahead.
Fundamental to the Green Party's philosophy is an anti-poverty philosophy. We believe nobody should live in poverty. So that's first and foremost. But with regards to seniors, one of the sorry, I'm being waved at. One of the key issues is the mandatory retirement age. And this forces seniors to stop working. And many seniors are more than capable of working beyond and wanting to work beyond the mandatory retirement age. My grandmother worked until she was 85 years old. She's 90. She was a property manager and she did her job brilliantly. My children's pediatrician is 87, sharp as a tack, loves his work, has no thoughts of retiring till the day he dies, I'm sure, because he loves what he does. And I don't think our seniors should be forced into retirement. I think they should be allowed to continue working if they so choose. So that's important, and that also would represent some relief to the pension payments. I don't think anybody would willingly want to go from the salary they're earning to earning 25% of the average industrial wage. I mean, that just seems like it's below the poverty line to live on that amount of money. And within the Green Party platform is a stretched over time move to raise that to at least 50% of the average industrial wage.
Thank you. We'll start the 5-minute debate timer now.
Okay, well, it's interesting that you mentioned Nortel. I agree, that was a disaster, and we'll actually we have a plan to move pensioners to the head of the line as creditors when companies go bankrupt, so that their pensions will be protected. And interestingly enough, the NDP also has a plan to allow people to take time off work to care for aging or sick relatives for much longer than they're currently allowed to do. It's not the first time the Liberals have borrowed from the NDP playbook, but promising these things and actually acting on them when you get into power are two different things. Actions speak louder than words. If you look at the record of the NDP, you can see that we follow through. Jack Layton fights for the thing. Our platform basically hasn't changed. We have the same values and priorities, and we always fight for the best results for ordinary Canadians.
Let's set the record straight. In 2005, it was the Liberals that brought in the plan that if you had somebody that was gravely sick and dying, that you can take off work. We didn't do this at the behest of the NDP. We didn't do it because the NDP called.
You mentioned you're going to increase it.
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. So please allow me to finish. If you don't want me to participate in the debate, let me know and I'll walk out. Allow me to finish, please. It was the Liberals in 2005 that brought this in. We're coming forth with the idea again. Should somebody be sick and you need to take off work, that you are able to take off work. You know, the NDP can sit here and promise you the moon. The reality is that there's two parties, the Conservative or the Liberal Party.
You wish. You wish. Parties. Because that's not the case.
Again, I will refer to the...
Do you know, if you think that we're going to be quiet while you spew lies, it's not going to happen, Jim. Saying it frequently and saying it loudly and bullying others is not...
There's nobody bullying
I'm not calling you a liar.
You're the one that's interrupting.
There are not two parties.
This is not civil.
There are not two parties,
This is not civil. My friends at the table, you know, you got to get a little lessons in manners. Let me finish, and then you can have your opportunity. Please, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, to speak.
So the point is, it's the Liberal Party or the Conservative Party that have been in power throughout the years. Every time that the Conservative power comes to power, it guts everything, and it takes the Liberals years to rebuild. And yes, there's times that we're a minority government, that the NDP helps and gives ideas to the Liberals. But the universal daycare did not come. Nobody else, that Lester person. CPP did not come because of Lester person.
Was never implemented.
Are you trying to tell me universal health care is not here? Come on, for God's sakes.
Daycare, sir, daycare.
I said universal health care.
I thought you mentioned daycare.
Okay,
so, another promise that you made that was never implemented.
May I suggest speaking one after the other?
Peter, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And you know what? The point is that there's two parties that have governed this country. One party destroys, which is the Conservative Party, and the other party rebuilds.
Thank you. We'll leave some time for the other parties to speak.
Okay. I'd just like to say that while the other party that is destroying the country is governing, the Liberals are right alongside, helping them stay in power, because it would be inconvenient for them to have an election, so they don't oppose things that the Conservatives implement. They don't oppose bills that are going to affect their constituents in drastic ways often. The family reunification is an example of that. And they abstain from too many bills. I mean, you can't turn around and say you disagree with everything the Conservatives stand for when you've supported them for the last 2 years.
Sorry, am I missing something? Who was it said, if you give us this much, we'll support your budget? It was Jack Layton until the very last minute. They wanted to prompt the Conservative government.
Jack Layton tried to negotiate a good budget for Canadians.
In this stage,
but actually,
in order for the
Conservatives were voted down in contempt of Parliament, not the budget.
Please, ask me to finish. And it was the Liberal bill of contempt that brought them down. And you could not have supported that.
Thank
you
very
needed
much.
to support that, or else you would have no other choice but to say that we're supporting people that are misleading Parliament.
I think Parliament could do with a little injection of civility from the Green Party. I think, in fact, Parliament needs a marriage counsellor, is what I'm seeing.
Please don't imply that we're married.
I'm sorry. I've been happily married for the last 35 years. I got 5 daughters. I love my wife. And for you to say that,
I think you didn't hear what I said.
No, you said you need a marriage
counselor.
It's an
analogy.
I said Parliament needs a marriage counselor.
I do not even go there. Parliament is a democracy. Democracy comes from two Greek words, demos and kratos. And democracy is 2,510 years old. It's not a marriage. Democracy is where people get together.
And democracy
A
is where
minority
members
government
of
is where
parliament
people have to get along and do their
This is it
job.
for this
Okay.
round of debate, so we'll come back later and we'll start the fourth round.